Good morning, everybody. We are back at it. My name is Control for Days. Today we are going to be going through a modern league with the deck Black-Green Yawgmoth. As you've heard me say many times before, we're switching up the list today and we are changing things for your viewing pleasure. Let me just adjust this real quick. All right. So in the comments of a lot of my recent posts, I've been getting the question, hey, what happened to Messenger? Why isn't it in the deck? What's going on? And I think people have a soft spot for this card because it harkens back to the original builds of Black-Green Yawgmoth, where there were quad messengers and, you know, that was your main game plan to combo people out. Get messenger, and then just start bouncing them off each other with Yawgmoth. Messenger is not as good as it once was in this deck, and there's a couple of reasons why. But right now, the biggest point is that the metagame is very aggressive, and Messenger, when you draw it, it's coming into play tapped, and it's a very slow card, so you're just going to get run over a lot of times when you play this card. But because everybody has a soft spot for this creature, this 3-drop, today we're going to go back to some older builds of the deck, and we're going to run multiple messengers, and we're going to see how this does, and then we'll see if Messenger comes back with a vengeance. So today's deck list, we have 3 Geralf's messengers, and I've had to shave some cards in other places to make room for these guys. So we are cutting an Endurance, a Grist, and I really wanted to run a 4th Evo in today's list, but I just couldn't figure out the room to make it happen. So we have 3 Evos as well. The mana base, we're shifting in a black direction to be able to pay for these messengers. So we have 3 Blooming Marshes, 2 Twilight Mirrors, back on an Urborg, and then our suite of 5 fetch lands. I couldn't make room for a 6th, although I would like 6. Maybe I shave a marsh and add a 6th fetch land. We might do that before the league starts. This sideboard here, because we only have 1 Endurance in the main deck, I had to move the 2nd copy that I normally run in the main to the sideboard. I've been liking Crime Punishment recently, so we're running 2 of those, 2 Force of Vigors, 1 Necro, 3 Thoughtseize. So sideboard's pretty similar to what I've been running. Patron, which has been in the main deck, we moved to the sideboard. Haywire Might, which I think I still like better than Outland Liberator, and a Fatal Push just to deal with some aggressive strategies. So this is the 60 we are going to, the 75 we're going to run today. We're bringing Messenger back. Let's see if he comes back with a vengeance. I'd be thrilled if this deck 5-0'd. I don't think it will, but I'll be very happy if it does. We're going to give it a go. Let's see how we do. All right, everybody, we are jumping into our Modern League. We are playing against Shrek 001. We are going to be on the draw. This is match 1. We are 0-0. And I think because we have a messenger in our opening hand, we have to keep this. This is just on brand right now. Let's see what Shrek is doing. No companion revealed. And Shrek keeps a 6-card hand. City Brass. Okay, so we're playing against Dredge. We're playing Dredge. This makes things a little interesting. If they have a is it not Dreadbore, Dark Blast, it really invalidates our Ignoble. Messenger is actually really bad in this matchup too, but I think we're going to play it out and hope they don't have it. If they do have it, it will be pretty bad for us. We'll see. And generally this is okay, so they haven't. Generally this is a very favored matchup for Yawgmoth, but because we're short on Endurance, I think it's going to be a little bit tougher. Alright, so they dredged the Dark Blast. They did not have any additional dredge cards in the graveyard. And they're going to cast an Otherworldly Gaze during their turn, which is a little bit odd. Another dredge card, the Golgari Thug, is put into the graveyard. And we drew into a Yawgmoth, so this is actually a turn 4 kill if we can get there. Let's see if we do. We're going to lead on a Geist. This is going to get Dark Blasted as well, I would imagine. We'll swing for 2. Here comes the Dark Blast. Sure. They're preserving their life total a little bit. Their turn, they're going to dredge the Thug. They hit a Creeping Chill, and that's about it. They have cathartic, thrilling discoveries in their graveyard. Hopefully they don't have one in hand. It's odd to keep an opening 7 with this deck and not have one of those cards. Usually you mulligan pretty aggressively with Dredge. This is a deck I used to play, so I'm pretty familiar with the play patterns and how it operates. So it's strange that they kept their opening 7 without it, but I guess you gotta do what you gotta do. Creeping Chill, we're down to 12 life. So we need to pull a land and not die on our next turn, which I don't think we can die. We are going to take quite a bit of damage off this Messenger. We're down to 10 life. Messenger. We'll hit for 3. We'll put them down to 15. And we need to dodge for one more turn here. If we hit like an Urborg, that would probably be our best draw from here. Oh, I have a draw step stop. I was playing Mill yesterday, so... Interesting. They have a Scrapwork Mutt. And they pulled an Ox as well, so that's going to be really, really good for them. So Ox is going to come back, the Amalgam's going to come back at the end of turn. So we might be in a little bit of trouble here. They're going to go down to 17. We'll see if they hit any more chills. They've exiled 2 as it stands. There's the Ox. They'll discard their hand, so that I know they have a Thug, a Dark Blast. We'll see what else they have. We'll yield to these triggers here, as long as I can click properly. Have an Ox, sure. Thug, Dark Blast, Conflagrate. So they hit another chill. And that was about it. A Narcomoeba. So they don't really have too big of a board presence as of yet. The thing is, though, that they do have that Conflagrate in their graveyard, and they do have another Ox. So they'll get 2 Amalgams back. Like, we can kind of deal with all this stuff. Not great. Not what we wanted. So from here, I can go Hierarch, Dryad Arbor, which leaves me like wide open for a Conflagrate, but I think they probably just cast another Ox if I had to guess. And then I can Chord and get a... What do I Chord for? This is a little tricky. So I can Evo the Messenger, get a Wall of Roots, cast Ignoble, cast Dryad Arbor, and then Chord for a Blood Artist and try to kill next turn. Maybe that's the move. So maybe I lead with an attack with the Messenger here. I think that's what we're gonna do. And if they want to block with this Ox, I think we're okay with that. I don't think they do though. I'd be surprised if they do, just because they have another Ox in their graveyard. And we're gonna be taking damage. These peatlands are killing us here. Alright, we're gonna Evo this away. Bring the Messenger back. I don't think there's a way for us to win. We could get Innkeeper, 1, 2, 3, play out the Hierarch, play out the Ignoble. I guess I could get Endurance. Would that buy us another turn? They have 3 cards in hand, 3 Dredge cards. Does Endurance buy us another turn? We're at 5. 1, 2, block there. Maybe Endurance buys us another turn? Maybe that's our best bet. We'll get an Endurance. I didn't really do the math here, but we'll see. We'll see if that's good enough to buy us some time. I think they have a Dark Blast in hand, so I can't imagine this Dryad Arbor is going to survive. Oh, they're moving to combat. Okay. So you're saying we got a chance. Okay, so we're going to block 1, 2, and 3, and we'll take 2. We'll go down to 3. Okay. 1, 2. Black and a white. Oh, Golgari Thug, sure. We're at 3 life. Alright, another Yawgmoth. Not gonna do it. Alright, so from here we'll go down to 1. We're gonna get a Blood Artist, I think. And we're just gonna pass the turn. Can't really do too much. I can't even get a Blood Artist because I'll just die to the Narcomoebas. These peatlands are just so brutal right now. I don't think they realize Endurance has reach. Okay, so with this attack, I'm going to block the Amalgam and the Thug. Let's start by drawing a card here. Maybe I should have done that during my turn. That was probably the move, just in case I drew a land, which I did. Okay, I really don't want to block the Thug, though. I think I have to. We're going to go down to 1, and then they'll put an Amalgam back on top of their library. This feels like an Otherworldly Gaze. Another Narcomoeba, sure. Alright, another Geist. Yeah, our mana base killed us this game. Let's see if we can draw into something that doesn't deal us damage here. Yeah, these peatlands were just brutal. Yeah, we'll scoop it up. There's nothing I can do about that. Alright, game 2. Normally this is a very, very favored matchup. But we don't have Ooze in the 75, which I think is going to make things possibly a little bit more challenging. And I know this is a Geralf's Messenger stipulation league, but this card is just, it's horrendous in this matchup, so I don't think we can play the full set. We're going to bring in Hapatra, Endurance, Force of Vigor, and Might. The reason we're bringing Force of Vigor and Might is because they do run Leyline of Sanctity. We're going to shave on wrists for sure. I'll probably shave down to 1. I'm going to shave some number of birds. I might go 1 bird, 1 hierarch. This isn't really a matchup where you're trying to kill them with damage. Actually, Innkeeper's probably worse. We'll keep a hierarch and shave. No, Innkeeper can be valuable. I lied. I'll shave a hierarch. I might actually leave in another grist. Shave a cord. Messenger is really bad too, but I feel like for the sake of this league, we're gonna run it. All right, we'll run this. All right, opening 7 is a little weak. So once again, especially if they have Dark Blast. But I think we're going to keep this. We'll see if they have a Dark Blast. They mulligan to 6. Hapatra plus Yawg is just such an engine that I think it's worth keeping. With a little bit of ramp, we'll see if it actually works. They mulligan to 5. Okay. So here, I'm going to lead Fetch Basic and play out my Hapatra. Or play out my Ignoble, my bad, and pass the turn. Alright, they lead off on Eclipse. Does our guy survive? Ah, we're staying alive, alright. Alright, Geist, not bad. I think I'm going to play out... I'm going to preserve my life here. I'm going to play out the Hapatra and play out the Tomb and then pass the turn from here. And then next turn I'll have Yawg Machine Gun online. And post-board, they might have something like Prismatic Ending, so they might be able to deal with my Hapatra, but... Alright, this feels like a thrilling discovery. Sure, they're going to go up to 21, and their graveyard is going to be chock full of goodies. So, first they dredge a Stinkweed, then a Thug, and then... What was the third card? A Dark Blast, okay. They hit 2 Chills, but they actually won't be able to bring any creatures back. So the biggest card we need to be worried about here is the Ox. So we got to keep that on our radar. Alright, we drew a basic, which is actually nice because we can save our life total a little bit. Patra's a human, right? Alright, so we're not going to be able to... I don't know that I'm going to be able to use Patra's ability here. The reason being is because they have a Dark Blast in hand. And I don't want to leave it open to getting Dark Blasted. I could dump the Ignoble, but I don't want to do that. Alright, they Dark Blast Hapatra. Sure. Okay, and then they're going to dredge the Dark Blast back, sure. So Hapatra's going to go away. They'll go down to 23. City of Brass Trigger, and we'll sacrifice our Hapatra from here. Which, this isn't the end of the world. If this is how they want to use their turn, I think we're okay with this. Like, we're really close to just combo killing them from here. Alright, drew another Yawg, or another Hierarch. Play out our Wall of Roots, play out our Geist. We're going to start by sacrificing the Geist here. We are at 11 life, so I do need to keep an eye on that. And we did see a Conflagrate in their list. Goose isn't terrible. Definitely not terrible, having the ability to gain some life. We're going to lead with an attack, I think, for 5. They don't have any hasty creatures except for the Mutt, which we saw. But I think they're bringing the Ox into play this turn, so... And from here, we're going to draw at least 1 or 2 more cards. The Might gives us a little bit of life gain, which is nice. Blood Artist we're going to save. So I think we're going to go Beseiju, Might, and Gilded Goose. So we got some ways to gain some life. And then we'll pass the turn from there. We'll see what they do. They dredge an Imp. And then we're going to see an Ox come back here. So they're going to basically mill out half their library from here. Dredge out half their library. Alright, here comes the Ox, as expected. Discard a Ghoul. Hit 2 more Creeping Chills. Wow. Those are the last two in the deck, I believe. Yes. Okay, the Ghoul's going to come back. Double, that was a really good dredge. Really good sequence of dredges, I should say. Conflagrates in the graveyard. They don't have any more lands, though. So we need to kill them this turn, which I think we might be able to do. We're going to have quite a few draws to make this happen. I need to check to see if they brought back... They brought back an Imp, and an Imp. Okay, so they don't have any Dark Blasts in hand. And that's the most important thing because of our Blood Artist here. Alright, let's just auto-yield to these. Right, they have Ghoul. Ghoul will come back. All these things will come back. And Ghoul, I mean, these cards are just going to be fodder for our Blood Artist here. Alright, Evo locks up the game from here. So, 1, 2, Blood Artist. And if I read it correctly, they only have two, they have 3 Stinkweeds in hand. We'll sacrifice the Might. We'll save targets. We'll gain some life. Gain some more life. And we're going to get our Messenger to stay on theme with this league here. And speed things up a little bit. And we'll just drain them out from here. Alright, our opponent conceded. We're moving to game 3. We did see Leyline, so we're keeping that on our radar. I wonder if I bring in another Force of Vigor and cut a cord on the draw. I think that's reasonable. I think we're going to go with that. Alright, so we have Endurance, we have Force of Vigor. We only have 1 land, but I think we keep this. I think we have to. They mulligan to 6. There's a Leyline. There's a land. We definitely don't want double cord in an opener like this, but it's fine. Gilded Goose. Plan is to ramp into the Wall of Roots next turn, play out the Yawgmoth cord for something, and then start to go ham from there. We're hoping we don't have to use this Endurance right away. Feels like we might. This is a cathartic reunion. They're going to discard 2. Sure. There goes an Ox and a Thug. They have 1 card in hand. They hit a Narcomoeba. Sure. So they put a Thug into their hand, and then they drew 2 cards. This we can deal with. This is fine. Best draw from here is a land for us. A bird is fine. We're going to activate at a green, play out our Wall of Roots, play out our bird. Hopefully they don't have a Dark Blast, and we'll pass the turn from here. So we can cord for our Dryad Arbor. 1, 2, 3, Dryad Arbor. They do have a Dark Blast. Okay, I think we just let that happen. That was main phase. I wonder if they just drew that. It would make sense that they just drew that. Okay, they're putting Conflagrate into their graveyard. So their aim here is... Okay, swing, sure. Their plan here is to Conflagrate next turn, and then just try to wipe our board down. Alright, so we can go Yawgmoth, play out the Yawgmoth. We're going to need to use all of these cards to get rid of their graveyard. Maybe we don't use the Yawgmoth, and we cord for something. So ditch the Yawgmoth to the Endurance, ditch one of the cords to the Force of Vigor, and then from there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cord for 5, and get ourselves another wall maybe. We could also look to get ourselves an Innkeeper. I feel like Innkeeper's not great though. Alright, I think we're going to do this upkeep here. I think we got ourselves another Wall of Roots. So if they have another draw spell, it's really bad for us. You can also get like a Hapatra. Innkeeper gives us a chance of getting Yawg into play next turn, which is our engine. And if not, we can get Yawg into play the following turn. Maybe that's how we approach this, get the Innkeeper. Hope they don't have another Dark Blast. Alright, let's see what they have. See if they have another another Dark Blast, another... Okay, 2 mana. See if they're casting out one of their Thugs or something like that. 3 mana. Casting out an Imp. Okay. A little bit of a sign of weakness here. And we can just negate attacks with Innkeeper. So, Dryad Arbor, definitely not a good draw. But we will be able to make a food and then cast our Yawg next turn. So we just need to dodge for 1 more turn here. I think we'll be okay. Take a hit for 2, down to 17, sure. 1, 2, Thug. 3. See what they're doing here. Okay. That's fine. Right, there's our food token. And here comes Yawg. Alright, drew our Peatland. I'm going to play out the Peatland just to preserve my life a little bit. And then from here, we'll go 4 like this. I think we're going to start... I think we can afford to sacrifice this Dryad Arbor here. Okay, and that's a really, really good draw. So this is pretty close to just game at this point, just having this Court of Calling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if this were paper Magic, we'd be able to get ourselves an Endurance, given this. But because it is not paper, the best we can do is a 5-drop. Or a 2-drop, I mean, instead of a 3-drop. They dump Ghoul, Mutt. Mutt's pretty good. Yeah, so the fact we can't use this the way we want to might hurt us a little bit, but we can actually just get a Patron, and we can just wipe their whole board because we have the Innkeeper in play. So that's pretty good. Discard a card, draw a card. It's a little Dredge the Thug, which is fine. We get another Narcomoeba. Really not a big deal because we have access to Hapatra here. Get ourselves our Hapatra, gain a life. We'll start by mowing down the Mutt. Force the Vigor, obviously not great. And we're just going to -1 this Imp, and we'll take a hit for 0. We're not going to put another Imp into their graveyard. That doesn't make sense. Okay, moving back to our turn. Things are looking up. Okay, from here... Alright, we just have a kill at this point. Our Messenger is coming back. Alright, we're going to Evo the Walroots. Get our Messenger. We'll lead with an attack. And they scooped. Okay, they see it. We're up 1-0. Messenger did some work that match. Did something. Alright, we are back. Match 2 of our Modern League with many Geralf's Messengers. We are playing against CrepesForLife. I feel like I've played against this person. I feel like I remember that name. We are going to be on the draw, and we have 7 lands in our hand, so we are not keeping this. Our 6, I think, is acceptable. We'll keep our 6. And then I think we get rid of... the Geist. Maybe not. Yeah, I think we get rid of the Geist, just in case one of our bird or our Hierarch dies. It's a little bit of a liability. We have our Urborg, so we can get our Messenger out. They lead on a Tarn and pass. They did not reveal a companion, so... Alright, Dryad Arbor's back. Dryad Arbor is always back. I hate that card so much. I hate it and I love it at the same time. Alright, we're gonna go basic Forest, and I'm really unsure. Should I go Yawgmoth? Like, Tarn represents Bolt. I think we're gonna lead on our Yawgmoth. And hope to draw a green source next turn. Like, I'd like to be able to curve out double Dork next turn into Messenger the following turn. Alright, so they get a Triumph, so to me this, right off the bat, I'm thinking Rhinos. Hoping it's not, but that's what I'm thinking. Let's see if they Fire Ice me during my upkeep. They do. Okay, so we're playing against Rhinos here. Not great. Green source. Alright, another Dork was like the last thing we wanted. So we're going to swing with 1. And then I'm actually going to play out the Dryad Arbor, which feels terrible, but... So we do have a line to win this game. If we can go Messenger into a Yawgmoth on the following turn. So we need to draw a land, and we need to draw a Yawg. And then you need to not kill this Dryad Arbor. Shardless, sure. Alright, next card was a Footfalls, so we got Rhinos. But I guess even if we do draw land into Yawg, it's probably still not good enough because they're gonna be threatening our life total so quickly. I'm gonna fetch basic here again. Once again because we have the Urborg. And now if they have a Fury, we're just gonna lose. But we can't play around it just because the clock is so quick. We'll have 7 mana on our next turn, so we can go Messenger into Yawg if we can find a Yawg once again. This is all contingent upon Yawgmoth showing up. We'll block the Shardless, and we'll take a hit for 8. We'll go down to 10. And this feels like another Outburst, if I had to guess. Also kind of feels like a Fury, because they're hesitating. Thinking about what to discard. If they cast Fury here, I'm just going to scoop. Okay, I'm scooping. I'm good. I'm good. Next card was a Geist into a Chord. Okay. Nothing we can do there. Once again, we have to shave on Messengers. This is not the matchup for the card. We're going to leave 1 in just because of the theme of our league here, but that's how we're going to operate. We're going to bring in 3 Thoughtseize. a Necromentia. And this seemed like it was like a pretty stock build of Rhinos, so I don't think we need to bring in like Might for Leyline Binding. So 3 Thoughtseize, 2 Crime Punishment, 1 Necromentia. I thought I brought, oh, and Hapatra. We're gonna shave, definitely gonna shave down on birds. I feel like Goose is a little more resilient, but we just need to get our game plan off the ground quickly. We're gonna shave, I feel like Geist is worse than Wolf here, just because Wolf is a 1-drop. Shave a Grist as well. Let me see how we did this. 5, 6, 7. Maybe we do keep a second messenger in on the play. It's such a liability, like mana-wise too, because they do run Blood Moon sometimes. I don't think we can afford to. Alright, opening 7. This is a keep. CrepesForLife, what you got? Gemstone. Alright, cool. Cool. This is a keep because it's a quick way to get into our game plan, but I don't know if it's going to be good enough once again. They have 5. What did they exile? A Triome. So my hope here is they stall on lands. We'll see. 6, Tarn, pass. Sure. 5 cards in hand. Alright, we drew into a Yawg. So from here, I think we go Wall of Roots. We'll swing for 1. I guess there's, like, do I cord, do I not cord? Does cord for 0 really do that much? I guess it depends, but I mean, we need another black source regardless, so I think I'm just going to hit for 1. The upside of the 1 damage might be less than the upside of like using our cord if we need it. We are telegraphing that we have a Court of Calling as well, so our good friend Crepes, if they are astute, they will pick up on that. Crepes knows what's up. 2. Okay, that's really annoying. That's really annoying. So that, I guess, would be a reason to keep up the Court of Calling as well. So we really need to pull a land on our next turn, or like a Crime Punishment, that would also work. Shardless, sure. There's the Rhinos. Turn 2 Rhinos. Land. Alright, that was not a good draw. And now we're just so far behind. It's going to be really, really hard to come back from here. Yeah, we're going to play our wall out again. We're going to take a hit for 7, I think. The reason I'm blocking like this is so I can cord. Alright, they suspend another Rhino. I think they have a Force of Negation. They're thinking about using it right now. They don't. Alright, that's, once again, not what we wanted. And the fact we have Hapatra and Blood Artist and only 1 black source, we can't cast both, which sucks. I think we lead Hapatra here. 8, 10, 13. They have lethal on board. And I think we're going to need to block Shardless and Rhino. No, I don't think I can attack here. If they do have more Rhinos... I mean, if they have more Rhinos, I guess we just lose. So maybe I should have attacked, but... When I say more Rhinos, I mean a Violent Outburst. And they do. Okay. Well, I guess they could be casting the Borrower, too. We'll see. Okay. That's game. Ran us over. Crash. Match 3 of our Modern League. We are playing against DungeonDestruct. We are going to be on the draw. We can't win a die roll, unfortunately. Opening 7's acceptable. We hope this Hierarch lives, but I think it's a keep. Die rolls, not our thing today. They lead Arid Mesa. They fetch. Giving off burn vibes. Giving off Hammertime vibes. Alright, so Sigarda's Aid. It's early. Talking, not my strong suit. Alright, double messenger. See if we can do it. Achievement unlocked, potentially. Hierarch, pass the turn. So we got turn 3 Yawg. Is it going to be good enough though? Once again, another instance for double messenger, not great. So if they go like Stoneforge and the next turn they attack, we're going to be taking a hit for whatever. Alright, Paladin. Sure. It might almost just be better to just like cord for our... Like if they have double hammer, we'll just lose. So it might even just be better to cord for our Dryad Arbor and then try to get our Yawg into play next turn. I feel like that's actually the safer line. So we're gonna take that line. Like we want them, well, Paladin we can block with Yawg without consequence. So that's That's where we want the hammers, but then again, if they have more than 2 hammers, if they have a third artifact, they'll just be able to move it wherever they want to move it. Right, we'll get a basic forest. And the reason I'm doing this way is so I can still play out the Yawgmoth, as opposed to just fetching for it. Dryad Arbor. We will block with the Dryad Arbor. Okay, Shadow Spear. We'll see if they have a hammer on top of that. So that's worst case scenario for us, because then it just completely invalidates our block. Makes it worthless. Okay, they don't have a hammer. Good. They will have a hammer in 2 turns, though, so we do need to get rid of this Paladin in between now and then. Ornithopter, sure. Another Paladin. Okay. So we're going to need, like, a proliferate line to be able... That was a pretty good draw. That was pretty good. There's our Yawg. Alright, so now we need to dodge a hammer. And we know they don't have a hammer because they would have... I think they would have cast it on that last turn. I don't think there was a reason not to. So best draw for us from here is going to be a Yawgmoth, I think. Patron would be a really nice card to have right now, but unfortunately we don't, because we've got a lot of messengers instead. 2 mana, 3 mana. Okay, so that's their third artifact, so they're going to be able to move this Shadow Spear now. I wonder if they move it onto the Ornithopter, just to get a point of damage in. We'll see. This is an interesting attack. I wonder if they forgot Yawg has pro-humans. And I wonder if I just kill it right now. No, probably not. Another really good draw for us would be a Mahieu if we could find that. That would be really nice. 17 to 21. Wolf? Blood Artist. Blood Artist not terrible. 1, 2. No, but we're still short. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wolf. I'm just trying to figure out how do we survive this next turn. As they are going to have a hammer. They're going to have a hammer and a Shadow Spear. And there's a lot that I want to be able to do here. Like, I want to get rid of this construct, the Ornithopter, and at least 1 Paladin. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's the best way for me to be able to do that? I don't think it really matters. This messenger is going to be dying. We're going to be using it. We're going to be activating it 3 times here. Like, we want them to put the hammer onto this Paladin here. Alright, we'll start here. We just need to pull land off the top, an untapped land off the top. Okay, there's our land. I guess we could win if we pull Innkeeper into a wolf, we would just win. So this is once again an instance where an Innkeeper wins the game and Blood Artist does not. Goose. Goose is loose. Alright, so we're dumping that. This is out of necessity here. We actually have a pretty decent next turn lined up. And I think we discard our other Yawgmoth. We'll dump this Saga too. So I'll get to attach this to the Paladin now. And I suppose if we draw another land, we could also just get a, we can get a Grist and kill this Paladin. Alright, doesn't feel great. A Patron would have been much better there. A Patron would have been ideal. Alright, Sunbig Canyon, sure. They have 3 cards in hand. 1 mana. Activate Inkmoth. Sentinel, sure. Oh, really weird that they're not moving things over to the Inkmoth. Is that I'm priced in? That is really strange. I don't know, our opponents made a couple of mistakes up to this point, I think. Okay, unless they just have another hammer, which they drew. Okay, yeah, you got us. If I had an endurance there, I could punish them, but I don't. Alright, we're down a game. This does get better post-board. We're going to bring our Force of Vigors, our Crime Punishments, our Hapatra, and our Might. Fatal Push is fine, but I don't think we want that. We're going to shave. Down on Messengers, down on Grist, and down on Walls. I think I want to cut one more here. Hapatra, Crime Punishment, Force of Vigor, Might. I feel like we can shave another Geist. Shave our 3rd wall. I feel like on the play, wall is actually better. I'm just going to shave the Messenger. It's just the right move here. It's just not the card we want. Sorry, Messenger. I know this league is an ode to you, but we're not gonna sacrifice wins here. All right, opening 7 solid. We're going to keep this. We do need to draw either another land or another creature, but I think this is fine. They keep their 7-card hand. We're going to preserve our life total and play out this Mahieu turn 1. Even though it does have some text in this matchup, we do have the Force of Vigor, so that's what we're doing. Oh, I thought I had 2 Evos. We actually have a Chord, so that's actually better. So we'll be able to get a turn 3 Yawg into play. And they just go fetch, plains, and pass. That's a weird line of play. Alright, that's fine. Now we're just going to leave this up and go Court of Calling to get our Dryad Arbor. And then get our Yawg in play the following turn, depending on what they do. We have second land, Sanctifier. They saw our messengers trying to get us here. I need to fetch a shock land here, unfortunately. Done. We'll get our Arbor into play, and then our Yawg on the following turn. We'll see if they have a removal spell for the Yawg. If they do, we're a little bit out of luck. Fetch land. Another land isn't bad, though. Hopefully they don't. And we'll use our Foothills to get another Overgrown Tomb during their turn. And as long as they can't remove the Yawgmoth, I think we're in pretty good shape. Keep our fingers crossed that they don't. Alright, that we can deal with very easily. Alright, so they do have a removal spell. So this kind of sucks. 3, 4, 5. Alright, there's a March. What did they exile? A Paladin. And I'm just debating, do I draw a card or not with the Dryad Arbor here. I actually think, because we have the Evo, I think I'm not going to. I think we just let this happen. Unfortunately, we can't target the Sanctifier, so that would be a reason for me to do that. Alright, we're going to fetch here. Get our Tomb, tapped. Best draw from here is a 2-drop. Alright, it's a 1-drop, not terrible. So we can go Yawgmoth into Grist, or I can Yawgmoth, Evo the Dryad Arbor, get like a Hapatra. And the reason I would do that would be because if I Crime Punishment for 0, the Dryad Arbor is going to die anyway, so maybe that's the move. I think we're going to get Hapatra here. Yes. Okay, then we'll pass from here. So we got Force of Vigor up, we got Crime Punishment up. They play out an Inkmoth, they have 4 cards in hand. If we draw into a Yawgmoth, we're golden. If we don't, the line's probably going to be Crime Punishment during their turn. During our turn. Stoneforge. Okay, so there's an argument to CP for 2 now. And they get a Cauldra. Sure. 1, 2, another 2-drop. Okay, so I think this makes it a stronger argument for us to Crime Punishment for 2 at this point. And they get a Hammer. I was hoping they would attack there. Okay. Alright, so there goes our Hapatra, unfortunately, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And we'll swing for 2. I think you take that trade. A 3 for 2, and they can't get Cauldron into play. So we'll see if they get themselves a token here. They do not. We've got the Force of Vigor still on standby. Pithing Needle's fine. Have the answer to that. I'm a little surprised they didn't make a Construct. Not having a board state and all. What do you name? Do you name Grist? One of my favorite things playing Legacy was when they would Pithing Needle naming Lion's Eye Diamond, because it doesn't stop mana abilities. Alright, there's a Hammer. Sure. So you don't have a Paladin in hand. We know about that. Activate Nexus. Sure. Fetch land. Sure. Shadow Spear. Okay. Your sequencing is a little bit wonky here, but this is fine. We'll take 1. This doesn't change their clock at all, really, so we know they have a Cauldra and then a random card in hand. And we drew a Forest. Okay, so this lets us play out our second Wolf, play out the Forest, we attack for 2, and we'll still have Force of Vigor up as well. And now all we need to do is find ourselves a Yawgmoth, and we'll be in pretty good shape. 1, 2. Stoneforge is a pretty good draw. Another Hammer. From here, I think the move is get rid of the Needle and the Shadow Spear. And now we need to find a Yawgmoth. So we have quite a few cards that do that for us, and that was one of them. You gotta play to your outs, as they say. As they say. In the business. There's our Yawg. Okay, so we'll be able to shut off this Cauldra again. See if they have another removal spell. Our Force of Vigor, not bad. We're gonna draw quite a few cards here. I don't think we hit our land drop yet, so we're definitely gonna find a land drop, which we just did. If I can find an untapped land here, that would be nice. Okay, they scooped. We're going to game 3. A point has been made. Game 3, I think there's an argument for Fatal Push here. Maybe we bring in... Push is like not the most impactful card, but it can shut down like a really fast start from them. Maybe I'll shave a Cord. No. Kind of like Cord. Forgot about Endurance. Maybe we'll shave Endurance. Endurance and a Cord, bring back another Wall. Or shave another Grist, shave a Geist. Maybe keep the Cord, shave a Geist. I kind of like Geist though. I'll shave a Yawgmoth. Kind of playing with things a little bit here. Alright, opening 7. I think this is actually fine. It's a little on the slow side, and we are lacking ramp, but we do have interaction, which is why I like it. Like, this hand can deal with a Cauldron, which I am a fan of. Alright, so Sigarda's Aid, no 0 drop, good. So we'll go Beseiju. Maybe we hold the Beseiju. Maybe we just like Shock. It's a little tricky. Like, I feel like we're probably going to wind up playing out this Beseiju, but I'm actually going to Shock here. It's tricky call. What would you have done in that situation? Let me know how you would have played that out in the comments below, whether you would have played the Beseiju or whether you would have played the Overgrown Tomb. I'm not sure what the right move is there. Turn 2. Okay, Paladin. We are definitely going to be killing that. The hope here is we can draw another land. Okay, that's actually not bad. So we're going to push this thing, play out our Beseiju, play out our Hierarch, and we'll swing for 2. So no threat of dying on our turn. We do have the Might, which can deal with something. So because they played out the Paladin, to me that says they do have a hammer in their hand. That's what that makes me feel like. 1 Sentinel, sure. Have a Sentinel. Now Might can't deal with the Sentinel, but it can deal with a hammer if they have one. And that was actually pretty good too. So we're in a position now where we can Cord, get ourselves a 2-drop, and then Evo the 2-drop into a Yawgmoth, which I think is going to be the line. Depending on what they do, of course. If they can suit up the Sentinel, we might respond by getting rid of whatever they put on it. Alright, they're a little over the top with lands at this point. They draw a card, see what they do from here. I don't think they're in a position where they can attack. Okay, sure. I'd be happy to block that. Like, they're going to hammer it. That's expected, which is fine. Okay. So I could just dump the other... Well, I guess they could have a blacksmith skill, so maybe we don't. Alright, we'll fetch here. I think we get Dryad Arbor. And we're going to Cord for a 2-drop here. They'll get to draw a card. But the cards we're drawing long term are going to be significantly more than the cards they're drawing. 2-drop, we'll get ourselves a Geist. And then we'll Evo the Geist on our turn. Alright, land wasn't bad here either. So I wonder, I think we start with an attack. Attack for 4. Alright, once again, they'll draw another card. So I'm giving them some advantage here. We would not like to pay 11 generic mana, no. I don't think that that's a good trade-off for us. We'll get our Yawgmoth. I'm going to play out a land. I'm just going to fetch now, just in case they can get rid of our Dryad Arbor. And then from here, I'm going to start drawing a few cards. Okay, Crime Punishment, not bad. Beseiju, also not bad. Wow, we actually... It's like pretty close to the nuts. Like those 2 cards are just really, really strong. I'm just looking for a land drop here. I feel like we're pretty well insulated at this point though. We don't need that. Alright, there's a land. Oh, we already made a land drop. Okay. 12. I'm gonna draw one more just to fill up my hand here. Okay, Innkeeper. Ooh, I can actually play out the Innkeeper and then just draw out our deck here. So I think that's what we'll do. Alright, and this is just infinite at this point. Let's see if our opponent wants to scoop to this. It doesn't seem to me like they have a piece of interaction. So we just find a Court of Calling, then we get ourselves a Blood Artist. Unless we draw the Blood Artist first. Seems like our opponent's F6 now. Another Crime Punishment, sure. Keep drawing, keep drawing, keep drawing. Drew a land. Next activation, Yawgmoth. Another land. Okay, there's the Court. Court for 2, get our Blood Artist. And this will seal the deal. Could also get our Hapatra and just like really hammer the message home, but save targets here. Our opponent scooped. Alright, we got that. We are jumping into the 4th match of our Modern League. We are playing against Noob. we actually won a high roll. What do you know? We're currently 2-1 with Messenger Yawg. We have not gotten a clean-cut Messenger kill as of yet. This opening 7 is super sketchy. Do we keep, do we send? I think this is a mole. This is almost like a 5-card hand as it is. I think we have to get rid of this. As tempting as it is. And this I like better. We'll keep this. We'll put the Blood Artist back. Keep. Blood Artist. Done. And they kept a 7-card hand. See what Noob is up to. Play out our birds. Pass the turn. When I used to grind Legacy a lot, I used to really recognize like a lot of people's names. Okay, this feels like Mill. We have our Endurance, which is good. They're going to push our bird, sure. I used to recognize people's names because like the Legacy community is so small, but with Modern, like I feel like I maybe have seen this person before, but for the most part, I don't know who anybody is. I'm in the blind with the exception of like maybe 10 people. Play out our Twilight Mirror and we will pass the turn. Are we getting milled? But we have our Endurance. Crab people. Crab Boy has entered the building. And they play the Grave untapped. Interesting. There goes a Messenger. Our first of many. Crab people number 2. So that's a pretty fast start for them. Could definitely pressure us fairly quickly. Question from here is, do I play out my Catacombs or do I play out the Peatland? Catacombs, obviously, not great with Mindbreak, whatever the trap is that they play. Archive trap. So I think we're just going to hold that for now. Maybe, I mean, maybe there's an argument for me to bait it, depending on what they have here. There goes a Yawgmoth. There goes a Grist. It looks like they're just passing the turn. So they're not fielding us as of right now. Maybe they're going to do that during our turn. Second chord, not terrible. Alright, we'll play this out. We'll pass the turn. Not much happening here. I think they use the field now. I think that's the move. They're contemplating. Field. We'll add a mana. From here, I think we get a basic forest. They get an island. Mills for another 6 here. I'm going to fetch here and get a basic swamp as well. Alright, and they made a little bit of an error here in doing this right here and now. I think they're supposed to wait until we pass priority. So they're a little aggressive. They'll only draw 1 card off of this. Here's our Endurance. A little overzealous here. Yeah, you draw 1 card. Sure. We're going to fetch. And now I think I'm actually going to get the Dryad Arbor. And I'm going to chord right now. And get myself a Yawgmoth as well. So pretty nice EOT sequence for us there. As long as they don't have a Surgical for Chord of Calling. But yeah, I think a little bit of a misstep from our opponent. Tasha's, sure. Alright, they hit 2 Grist. Alright, nothing too scary. It looks like they don't have another land. So now we'll be able to start churning some value here. Alright, second Wolf is actually pretty good. Play out our Wolf. And we're going to chord for our Yawg from here. I almost didn't click through those. Alright, and I think we start killing crabs. We are drawing cards here, which isn't really what we want to do, but I think we need to kill these crabs. I wonder if we just kill this one too. Did I play a land yet? I don't think I played a land yet. Alright, so that's a kill next turn. We're at 30 cards in the library. They have 3 cards. Cancel. I think we're going to kill this crab. Play out a land. And there's an argument for me to fetch right now and play out this Hierarch. We'll get really, really punished if they have a trap. I think I'm going to wait on this. I don't think there's a good reason for me to do it when we just have the kill next turn. So I think we wait. Another crab, sure. They have 3 cards in hand. Another Field of Ruin. Sure. Another Tasha, sure. Alright, so we have 14. There goes our Blood Artist, but I think we'll just have the kill from here. Alright, so from here, what I can do is Geralf's hit the crab. I guess if they have a Surgical, they can get us. I wonder if is our Innkeeper still in the deck? No, we lost our Innkeeper and our Blood Artist. Cancel. Okay, I think we should be okay here, though. Okay, so I'm going to dump this crab down, see if we dodge a Surgical here. Alright, a Beseju is fine. I'm going to swing for 6. Okay, they block, they take 4 down at 10. Undo. All right, I don't know if we have 9, 8. I don't think we have lethal here, so I'm gonna wait. 4 mana. Okay, Jace. Jace. This might be lethal. I think it is. We're gonna have to respond to this activation here. 3 times X cards, which is going to be 12 cards. So from here, I feel like there might have been a line on my last turn to get the kill. Maybe there was like a way for me to get, I don't know if Gilded Goose is still in the deck, but maybe that was the way to go about it. 3, 2, 2. We only have 1 endurance, so that's not an option. Gilded Goose is there. Gilded Goose is gone as well. Is there a way for me to win this? Is there a way? I feel like I might be missing something here. I'm down to 1. There's another messenger. Last 3 cards. 2 to 1. Can I do anything? Can I do anything? Is there a way for me to sacrifice the messenger at instant speed without losing a life? I don't think so. Alright, we lose. Game 2. Game 2. Alright, so here I think we're going to be bringing in a bunch of these cards. I'm going to bring in the Might just in case they have a some form of graveyard hate. We're going to bring in our Endurances. Sometimes I'll bring in Necromentia, but I don't think it's worth it. Thoughtseize, Endurance, Might, and Push. I also think Crime Punishment is reasonable to hit a bunch of the those guys, the crab people. I think we're gonna shave a Wall of Roots, a Cord, a Wolf. We're on the play. We're gonna shave 1 more, possibly another Wolf. I think we'll shave another Wolf, and we'll submit this. I'm submitting a 65 card deck. This is what I typically do against them because every card matters. This is a mulligan. We can't keep this. All right, and this is a slow keep, but I think we will keep this. We'll keep this 6 and we'll get rid of probably the Wolf. Lead on our Hierarch and we'll pass the turn from here. So as it stands, our game plan here is to get our Grist into play. I actually just made a video yesterday. It dropped on Monday, so you probably already saw it, but playing with this deck. So I feel like I have a little bit of a better understanding now what to expect in terms of what they're doing. All right, we need to pull a land off the top here. If not, we're gonna be, all right, that was good. That's probably the best land to draw 2. 2, Goose. Goose not really stellar in this matchup. Not what you're looking for. Crab people. Crab into land. And they're looking to hit an Endurance here. Endurance and then Surgically Endurance. We'll see if they hit 1. 3 creatures. There's a messenger. Another crab, 2 crabs. Dual crabs. Alright, so that's actually not bad. I think we're gonna lead. I think I'm gonna lead on my messenger here. And I'm gonna Thoughtseize them and play out the Grist next turn. And the reason I'm leading on messenger is because if they do have a surgical, this is probably one of the best targets for it in the graveyard. Thoughtseize. Okay, so they do have the surgical. They have a Field of Ruin. I think Drown in the Lock is probably the best card though. Or maybe the Soul Guide. They're gonna mill another 6. Maybe we just hit the surgical. All these cards are kind of interesting here. Soul Guide takes us off of Endurance. Drown in the Lock counters our Grist. I think we have to take the Drown in the Lock. They're gonna be able to mill another 12 with that with the Field of Ruin here. A little unfortunate. And if they surgical hitting an Endurance, we'll see if they have that. There's a Yawg in the graveyard. There's 2 Yawgs in the graveyard. 3 cards in hand. I think we just get a basic Forest here. Innkeeper, there's a Grist, and a Geist. Soul Guide. Sure. See what they get rid of. They dump the Blood Artist. Okay, a unique card. Reasonable choice. I feel like they're gonna... Oh wow, they drew a trap. That was a really good draw. They're looking for Endurance. I think they're gonna dump the Endurances. I think now would be the time to do that, because if I draw an Endurance... Well, I guess you can Soul Guide my graveyard. That was like best case scenario for them. Oh, and I drew an Endurance. What do you know? I need like 1 more card in my hand for this to be really good. Like, I want to bait them using the Soul Guide. If they sequence it properly, they'd be able to play around it, but it's kind of what I want to do. Alright, so we're going to attack with the Geralfs. We know they're 1 card, so if we can keep them off of drawing some business spell, that would be really good for us. hit for 4. And then from here, I think we grist, dump one of the crabs. We're not going to win with a grist ultimate because they have the soul guide, so we just need to buy ourselves some time. And then next turn, hope to somehow get our endurance into play. Sneak it around what they're doing. Yeah, so we need a couple of whiffs out of them. They're saving that surgical right now. Would be really nice if they used that soul guide to draw a card and then didn't surgical us. Fingers crossed. Looks like they're just passing. Alright, Fatal Push actually not bad. We're gonna leave with an attack. Really, really want them to try to kill this messenger. And then soul guide with the trigger on the stack. Alright, we'll plus. And I think the move here is going to be to endurance and then Fatal Push and try to kill them. Hit them on lethal, with lethal on their next turn. Alright, still nothing. 3 cards in hand. Interesting. And they're either going to counter this or pop the soul guide. One of the two. Pretty straightforward. That's pretty bad for us. That's pretty bad. Alright, they're at 69 life, sure. Nothing we can't handle, right? Nothing we can't handle. We still have Yawgmoth in the deck. We have 1 left in the deck. See if they pop the soul guide now. They do. Alright, so we're working on 22 cards here. Alright, go deck. Alright, we're going to push this thing. And we're going to start trying to deal some damage. Feels like we're losing this one. We know one of their cards is a surgical. It's a hit for 7. They're on like a 6-turn clock. It's a little on the slow side. Nothing. Wall of Roots, not great. We'll lead with an attack here. And they have something like another Crypt Incursion. I don't think we can beat that. That's going to be a tough one. Down to 54. Yawgmoth to the graveyard. We'll play out our Wall of Roots. Not really a reason not to. If they want to counter that, that's fine. It doesn't change anything. Okay, they surgical Yawgmoth. Strange target. They're looking at our library there, I guess. They have 3 cards in hand. Another crab. Alright, we're going to be killing that. They definitely have a land though, so they're going to be using. That's a good one. So that's 6 cards. We'll get ourselves our swamp here. I don't know if I saw any more Yawgs in the deck. We might be out of Yawgmoths. 1 mana. Push, sure. Slows our clock down a little bit. They're hellbent though. Okay, so from here, I think we attack, and then we'll minus sacrificing the Geralfs, and we'll kill the crab. They'll take 5, going down to 49. Sacrifice, kill the crab. Definitely going to be hard pressed to win this one. 10 cards left in our library. They drew a card. Hey, extirpate endurance. I don't know how many endurances we have left. We had 1 more, so we're down to 9 cards in library. I feel like they should have thought about that a little bit more, trying to find a card we have more than 1 left. It's not a good draw. And making these tokens with Grist actually speeds up our opponent's clock as well. Swing for 6. I don't know if our clock is going to be fast enough. Maybe with a Grist ultimate we can get there. It's going to be close. I feel like we just might need to... I know I'm helping my opponent there, but I feel like we just need to get pressure. We just need to kill them. They have 1 card in hand. Drew a land. Okay. This is a very interesting game. Okay, second Geralf's not bad. We'll speed up the clock a little bit. We'll attack for 7. We have 5 cards in library. Plus, play land. Pass the turn. Okay, we need to dodge. Dodge like 2 more turns here. 2, maybe 3. Alright, another land. How lucky can we get? Alright, we're drawing lands. Swing for 11, put them down to 19. I think we might have lethal next turn. We have 2 cards left in library. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, we actually have lethal if we get to hit with everything. This is kind of crazy. I should have been putting counters on my Wall of Roots as well. They're down to 5. Let's see if we get there. Wow. Wow. Game 3. Let's go. They were at 69 life. That's so crazy. That is so crazy. Game 3. I wonder if I bring in a Veil of Summer. I like going up to 66 on the draw, so I'm going to bring in a Veil. Or maybe I bring in a Patron instead, just as a piece of business. I think that's better. Crazy game. Game 3. Opening 7 is definitely suspect, but we have an Endurance. I'm going to keep it. Endurance and Grist, both of which are strong. Actually really like that artwork. I think that's pretty cool. Pretty sweet. Alright, Marsh was a really good draw. We're going to start on a Thoughtseize here. And then we'll go from there. Okay, so they have a trap, an incursion, and an extirpate. So the trap we can play around, hopefully. I wonder if we just get rid of the extirpate, and we can play around trap and incursion. So it feels like a pretty weak hand. Crap, that was a good draw for them. I'll play out an island, sure. Mill 3. Alright, Beseiju, not bad. I'm just going to land drop into our hierarch here. The next turn is going to be, I think we get our grist down. Know about the Field of Ruin here. Alright, Yawgmoth is okay. I guess we're like a turn off of combo killing them. If we go like Messenger, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go Messenger into Yawgmoth. They trap us, sure. We expected that. Dumped an Endurance. They're thinking here. Play out our Yawgmoth. We have 5 creature cards in the graveyard. We're going to play around this incursion. We'll see what they do. See if they use this field now. They do. Okay. And we don't have any more lands. Okay, so that's really unfortunate. Lucky for them. Alright. Another field. So it'll be another 6 cards. They have 3 cards in hand. Alright. And they're dumping the Beseiju now, sure. We don't have any more lands, so we can't do anything with that. So they're just trying to take us off of lands here. I guess I should have Endurance in response to get a land down. That was a mistake. Alright, we're gonna play out our Grist. And them countering this is actually really, really good for us. Okay, so we're gonna leave with an attack, and then we're gonna play out our Endurance here. Shuffle everything back. Take a hit for 3, sure. So Evoke's gonna go first. Alright, we got a full 60. Let's see what we can do here. They have 3 cards in hand. We know one of them's a Crypt Incursion. One of them's a land. So they have 2 cards left. They're gonna Incursion now. Ensnaring Bridge, interesting. Okay. Interesting. Alright, so we can actually kind of play around that with this hierarch that we just drew. So we'll swing with our wolf for 3. And now they're not in a position to block it, which is nice. And they're also incentivized to play out this incursion sooner. I don't think I've ever had anybody cast a bridge against me. I think this is a first. Verdant Catacombs. I guess we'll play that out. Swing for 3. Feel free to block. They're at 9 life. They do have the incursion, so they can go up an additional 9 life from here. Aboro is pretty good. I do want to draw into an Endurance. That's my best draw from here. Wall of Roots, not great. Does take me down a card. Alright, that's actually not bad. We'll lead Wall of Roots. Let's see if they counter this. And we'll play out another Hierarch. See if they counter this. I feel like they probably do if they have a counter spell in hand. Which is what it feels like. They're thinking about it. I think I brought the Might into the deck. Oh, I'm running low on time here. I need to start paying attention to that. Okay, I do have Might in the deck, so I can deal with this Ensnaring Bridge as well. They have 3 cards in hand. Alright, they return the Aboro. Play it back out. Mill 3. There goes Yawg. 2 Yawgs. Alright, now we can attack for 6. So this is going to give us lethal here. I should have played out my land first. That was a big mistake. Big mistake. Drown in the Lock, and now they're going to Incursion. Yeah, that was a mistake. I should have played out this peat land first. I'll still be able to hit for 3. And the reason I want to play out the peat land first because it gives me an out to draw into an Endurance. And I could have Endurance in response, and that, yeah, I would have had it. That was so bad. Oh my god. That would have been game. So that sequencing error probably cost me the game. Might cost me the game. We'll see. Still 45 cards left in my deck, so Visions, they draw a card, sure. A Jace could be problematic from here as well. I can't believe I made that mistake. That was so bad. Alright, Aboro, they're milling us for 6, sure. I think I'm actually going to fetch here before this happens. And I'll get a Dried Arbor. Swing for 4 with the Arbor. I mean, we still have a combo kill as well, so that option... Oh, I meant to play out that Patron there. That was a mistake. I clicked through. I was clicking a little too fast. I'm just going to auto-yield to these. I don't know why I'm not doing that. They have 1 card in hand. I think it's a counter spell, if I had to guess. How many Yawgmoths are gone? 1, 2, 3. I think I'm going to flash in this Endurance EOT because if we draw Yawgmoth, it gives us the kill. Assuming that this last card is a counter spell, which I think it is. I believe this is a counter. Visions. Okay, they draw 3 cards. Pretty good. Wasn't what I was expecting. Alright, Endurance is back. This does open up our attacks here. Attack for 6. Alright. Didn't click through there. We'll play out our Hepatra, and then I'll pass the turn. And I'm going to F6 this. Another crab. So they're going to be able to mill 9 a turn. More than 9 a turn. They have something like an Archive Trap that will just probably kill us. We need to hit a like Crime Punishment, but then that wipes all of our Hierarchs. So we really just need to hit Yawgmoth at this point. If this is a Jace, yeah, that's pretty good. So Jace will mill 9 cards, I'm guessing. Alright, Jace just minuses on one of my creatures, sure. Alright, we need a Yawgmoth. Alright, that's a Yawg. Let's see if this does it. Do you have a counterspell? I don't think they do. I don't think they do. Alright, there's our Yawg. So from here, we just need to make sure we have enough time. So I'm going to go a little light on the commentary. Okay, so we're going to deal with this. Oh, cancel. Add a mana. We're going to dump these guys down in response here. All right, another Evo. Okay, from here, I'm going to proliferate. We're going to discard a land. 1, 2, 3. Done. Okay. From here, oh, we can't actually attack with anything. Jace is on 6. Jace is problematic. All right, I think we're just going to try to kill from here. They're at 16. We're at 9. I need to turn on auto yields here. I got 50 seconds. All right, Innkeeper does it. Yes. Innkeeper. All right, how quickly can we click through this? So this is a win. If time was not an issue, we would get there. Oh my gosh. Auto yields. We're not going to get there, I don't think. So I'm counting this, but it's not going to be good enough with our clicking here. Unfortunate. We have 3 seconds left. We're going to lose, but we had the combo. All right. Unfortunate. 2 and 2. All right, everybody. We are back in the mix. This is match 5 of our Modern League. We're technically 2 and 2, but I think you guys know, and I both, we all know we're 3-1, let's be honest. We are going to be on the draw once again. Don't seem to win die rolls this league. Opening 7 is fine. We were playing against Mahieu, who kept their 7-card hand. Let's roll with it. Oh, and they revealed a companion. I didn't see that. Gigantha. Okay. Gigantha has been revealed. This is the first Gigantha matchup we've played today. They lead on a Dragon's Rage. Let's see if they have a Bobble. They do not. Alright, turn 1 play, pretty straightforward. Blooming Marsh into a Wolf. We drew a land, and that is the last land we really want to see for quite a while. So hopefully we don't see any more of those. This could be Prowess. This could also be Breach. So we'll see. Alright, Shredder. So this makes me feel like this is Breach we're playing against. No attacks. I'm assuming they have 4 cards in hand. We drew our 3rd Young Wolf. I don't think I want to facilitate them getting cards in the graveyard, so I think we're just going to play our Wolf and our Tomb tapped, and then we'll pass the turn from here. Next turn we'll get our Grist into the play. We'll probably knock down the Shredder at that point. We might not. And then we'll have Yawg on the following turn. Alright, here's an iteration. See, I would imagine they're going to have a second spell this turn. They kept a card on top. So probably a fetch land. Yes, there's the fetch. 2 card types in the graveyard. They'll have 3 and potentially 4 depending on what they use out of their hand here. So if they have like a Bolt or a Heat, that'll be card type 3. Consider, okay. Stacking their triggers here. If they put a creature in the graveyard. Alright, so now that they have got the full 4 card types with the for the Dragon's Rage, we'll take a big hit at 5 and move back to our turn here. Alright, Foothills, not great. So here, do we knock down the Dragon's Rage or the Shredder? I think we hit the Shredder. I think that's probably more problematic. So I think we start with an attack for 2. We do only have one endurance in the main deck, which I need to be cognizant of. But I think this is the move here. We'll sacrifice, kill the Shredder, bring back our Wolf, and then we'll pass the turn from there. Our Grist is going to die, but we'll be able to get ourselves our Yawg into play next turn, and then hopefully go crazy from there. I guess the question is, do they bolt the Grist? Do they attack the Grist? I imagine they might even bolt the Young Wolf here. Alright, iteration number 2. Okay, they dump a land into the graveyard. See what they pull off for this iteration. Another land, okay. They have 6 cards in hand still. Feels like a lot. Another Dragon's Rage. Swinging down the Grist, I would imagine. They'll have 1 card. Alright, there goes Grist. Tarn is up. 5 cards in hand. We drew into a bird. So I think we get our Yawg into play from here. And we're going to play around them having something like a like an Unholy Heat, so we're not going to activate as of yet. We'll just pass the turn from here. See if they fetch. If they fetch, we're going to start activating. They're thinking about it. They don't. Okay. I think that's a smart move on their part. From here, I think you lead with an attack. Alright, start with a fetch. Fetch into a Foundry. They're down to 12 life. We're actually winning the life total battle as of right now. Another land. 5 cards in hand. 1, 2, 3. Teferi. That's really annoying. We're going to have to respond to that. Alright. Start by minusing. Alright, so there's a Heat. Okay, so from here I think we let the Heat resolve. Our Wolf's going to come back. We'll draw a card. Court of Calling. So that gets us an Endurance, which is actually pretty good. Also gets us another Yawg. We're going to take a hit for 6, go down to 8. Okay, interesting. They plus there. I guess they just don't want it to die. Reasonable. So if we pull like another Court of Calling, we can actually just win from this position. Messenger, what does that do? Does that get us anywhere? So we can go Wolf, Bird. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wolf, Bird. I mean, I feel like they fill up their graveyard so quick if we, Alright, I think we lead on a land here. I think we're going to attack Teferi, and then maybe we go Wolf, Messenger, Bird, and hope that that's good enough, and then Cord next turn. This might not be a good enough plan. Let me see. Attack Teferi. Okay, I think we're actually going to have to get an Endurance here. I think that's the move. I don't know if that's good enough, though. I think we're going to have to get a little bit lucky. No, I don't want to concede. We'll fetch. We'll get down to 7. Get another Forest. Wolf. Bird. Endurance kind of feels like a temporary band-aid, though, so I just don't know if this is going to be a big enough difference. There's the Endurance. We'll target them, and then we will pass the turn from here. All right, they're going to fetch. I guess they're going to Heat it in response. They're down to 9 life. Sure, Heat. There goes our Endurance. But it's going to take them off cards out of their graveyard, which I think we're okay with. I think we like this better. As long as they can't fill their graveyard up completely. So they have 2 cards. They put 2 cards into the graveyard. Okay, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Every non-creature they cast is 2 cards into the graveyard. Alright, I could be up to 3 cards into the graveyard. Alright, bolt me. I'm going down to 4. 1. I think we have to get a little lucky here. 2. Yeah, so there's going to be 4 card types because the Teferi is going to go into the graveyard. So that will be it. Alright, we'll scoop. We'll scoop. The last 2 cards were bolt, bolt. Alright, Endurances are going to come in. We'll bring in the Might, and I think we'll bring in a Push as well. And I feel like Hapatra is probably good. We'll cut 2 Messengers, as has been the case every single match. We're going to shave some number of Hierarchs, 2 of them, I think. Or maybe we'll shave a Goose and a Hierarch. Shave a Geist. What else? What else do we want to shave? 1, 2, 3. 1. Push. Might. How many Dorks do we have? We have 6 right now. I think we cut 1 more Hierarch. And run with that. Give it a try. See how it goes. I think this is a favorable matchup. I just don't think that our hand played out the way we wanted it to. 7 card hand, this is a keep. This is a strong opening. Opening 7. They're mulliganing to 6. Like, our mana is really good. We have an endurance. So I feel like this has good potential. They keep their 6. Lead on our basic into our bird. And pass the turn. Have to anticipate this bird's going to die, as is usually the case. They lead Steam Vents, Shock, Bolt the bird, Bobble, okay. So that tells us right off the bat they don't have a Dragon's Rage. And there goes the bird. Sure, 4 cards left. Bobble us, Yawg, okay, we like that. That guy's pretty good. Play out our Wall of Roots and pass the turn from here. So we have a Yawg next turn if we want it, which I'm not sure we do. We might go Innkeeper into Endurance and then Yawg on the following turn. We shall see. If they play out something like a Shredder, we might... Okay, yeah, so I think Yawg is likely to play here then, with this being done. Haywire Might, that's fine. They have 2 card types in the graveyard. Play our Yawg and pass the turn. I think they're going to be, unless they have like a Teferi, they're going to be hard-pressed to remove this turn. Let's see if they have a Teferi. They don't. Alright, so we're going to be able to deal with that. And they're going to consider... So we'll see what they put into their graveyard. We really don't have to worry too much about this Dragon's Rage hitting Delirium because we have the Endurance. They're keeping 1 card on top of their library. We'll see what that is. This will be up to 4 card types here. I wonder if they have like a heat and they're going to try to heat down our Yawg, but we'll be able to deal with that. Feels like that's what they're doing, and it is. Okay, we'll let them put a card in with the Dragon's Rage. We're gonna flash in our Endurance. Target them, dump that, okay, evoke, endurance, heat will only deal 2, and that's a pretty big blowout for us. Pretty good exchange. They'll hit us for 2, that's fine. I think we're pretty far ahead at this point. Alright, and that, we can't actually cast that one. It kind of stinks, but I think we start, I think we're going to add a mana, and we're going to dump down the Shredder. Hope to draw a black source. Alright, another Yawg. Play out our Might. I'd really like to get this Messenger into play this turn. Dump, we'll draw another card. Gain 2 life. This might be a little overzealous. We'll see. Noble's fine. That represents a green source. Alright, they get to... Or a black source, I mean. They get to do their thing. 3rd card type in the graveyard. We'll swing for 3, put them down to 12. And then hopefully we can get this this Messenger into play next turn. Hopefully. We'll see. Alright, Iteration. Still 3 card types. We'll see what they get off of this. They're a little tight on mana, which is good for us. Like if they want to heat down our Yawg this turn, like if they pull a fetch land, it's really not too big of a deal. Do they shock that in? They don't. Do they swing? Do they not swing? Alright, swing for 1. We're down to 16. They have 3 cards in hand. Our turn, this should be a good one, and that's pretty close to just having lethal at this point. 1, 2, 3, so that's 5. We can get ourselves, let me see. We have a Patron in the deck, but I think we wait. I think we start with an attack for 3. Put them down to 9, and then we'll play out our Messenger and we'll leave our Boseiju up. Put them down to 7. So they're 5, they're essentially at 3 life from here. Bolt targeting me. That's interesting. Okay, sure. That is an interesting line of play. Okay, ending. I think we're just going to sacrifice targeting the Shredder here. I understand that I could have done my thing with the Messenger, but I'm going to play it a little safe here. I think we're far enough ahead where we can do that. All right, you're into a Chord of Calling. And from here, I think I'm just going to attack with the Yawg. And if they try to do something, we'll Chord. Play out our bird, pass the turn. Playing very conservatively, but I don't think I have a reason not to. I think we have some freedom with our lines. The only, like, the consideration not to play out the bird is because if I want to Chord this turn, it gives them a second spell for the Shredder. All right, I'm going to Chord during upkeep here. I'm going to force them to make a move, and they scoop. Okay, cool. All right, game 3. Messenger. Do I want Messenger in the deck? We'll keep Messenger, just to stay on brand with the theme of this league here. We'll go with it. I've had quite a few Messenger kills up to this point. Alright, last game of this league. Let's see how this one goes. Yeesh, opening 7. This is a little slow for my liking. Knowing they have Ragavan in the deck, I don't think we can keep this. And we definitely can't keep that. We're going down to 5. And we'll keep our 5. I actually don't hate this. And we're going to dump Urborg and Overgrown Tomb. We'll see how this goes. Alright, they lead Steam Vents, Shock, Ragavan. So we were correct to do what we did on turn 1. Or pre-turn 1 with our mulligan. We go Bobble. They'll Bobble us. Look at the top card, sure. Hierarch, not terrible. Not good, not terrible. Get our basic forest, play out our wolf. The Ragastopper. Ragastopper's in the building. Okay, they draw a card off the bubble, draw a card for turn. Consider, I wonder if they're short on a land? Just based on the sequencing here, they dump an iteration. If they miss a land drop, that would be, they didn't, spoke too soon. Nothing, okay. And we drew another land, which I think is fine. From here, I think we'll play out our Geist, and I think we'll swing for 2 with the Geist. I wonder if we just wait, we just sit back. I think we'll just sit back. Like if we draw into an Evo, I think that's reason to keep the Geist back. Like if we pull an Evo off the top, it gets us back in this game pretty quickly. Endurance is a really good draw from here. They dumped a Ledger Shredder. Next turn we can double spell. This feels like an iteration. It is. They have 5 cards in hand. Alright, really want to hit an Evo. Spire Bluff, and they do nothing. Okay. 6 cards. Alright, we drew a Yawg. Not terrible. So I think we're going to lead with another Geist. And we're going to swing for 4. So we'll swing with both our Geists. And then we'll play out our Hierarch after that. Put them down to 11. They have 6 cards in hand. We're going to get a basic here. Because we have the Twilight Mirror, we can do that. Pass the turn. We need to get up to 4 mana here. 4 mana, we got a shot. Fairly predictably. Hierarch gets bolted. Dragon's Rage, sure. Another iteration, sure. If we pull a land here, we will be in good shape. They dump a bolt, okay. We haven't seen a breach as of yet. Fingers crossed, we draw a land. Alright, there's their land. They play it tapped, okay. We have a huge opening here if we can pull a land off the top. Huge, huge opening. Land or an evolution would be fine as well. Oh, so brutal. Alright, can't do anything there. We'll just play out our might and pass the turn. I guess we should have tapped our Mire to cast that. So that might have been the difference between winning and losing this game here. Because now if they have a breach, their engine is just so online. 1, 2, 3, Teferi, sure. Alright, so it doesn't seem like they're gonna breach this turn. So we got one more turn to make this happen. Put a card on top. And because we have 3 Undyers, we can play around a removal spell. Interesting, they bounced the Yawgmoth here. Okay, so now we don't have the luxury of playing around a removal spell, depending on what they have. Okay, I think we lead by attacking down the Teferi here. Then we'll play our Wall of Roots into our Yawgmoth. See if they want to block, they do. I think we're okay with that. I'm guessing they might have another Ragavan in hand at this point. Bolt, targeting our other Geist, sure. Alright, so Teferi's going to survive. If they have something like a Fury as well, that would be a pretty big game, but I don't think there's a way to play around that at this point for us. Alright, we're going to play Wall of Roots, and then I'm going to minus the Wall of Roots to play our Yawgmoth. Alright, so once again, we have Yawg next turn. If we get a next turn. Bolt the Might, bolt one of our Geists. What are they going to bolt? Bolt the Might, yeah, okay. Feels pretty bad for us. And just based on the number of bolts they have in their, I mean, they can just recycle. They have all 4 bolts in their graveyard, so if they do have a breach, we'll just die from here. We had 2 turns to hit our 4th land drop, and we didn't hit it, so bolt, bolt, bolt. I guess there'll be one, they won't have enough land to be able to do that, to kill us. All right, now they do. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put it down at 8, breach, Quad bolt. Okay. We'll see if they see the line. I would imagine they do. Well, I guess we're still not dead if they bolt us 4 times. We'll go down to 2 life. I wonder if they put more Dragon's Rages into play and then just kind of go infinite from there. They have 1 Dragon's Rage. They'll be pretty close to being able to do that. Attack us down to 14. Alright, this turn's going to be pretty ridiculous. Just going to yield. Let them do their thing. There's nothing I can do at this point. I'm an innocent bystander. Dragon's Rage number 2, okay. I think you just try to get another one into the graveyard, and then you can just go crazy. Bolt, target. One of my Geists, sure. Ending. And Ragavan into the graveyard. Bobble, target me. We'll draw at least like 4 or 5 more cards here. I imagine they get rid of my Wall of Roots as well, just to keep me off of Yawg. Bolt, target, Geist, sure. They have 1 mana up. Let's see what they use it on. Bobble, sure. Heat goes to the graveyard. Shredder goes to the graveyard. They already made their land drop. So it'll be their second Bobble, so they'll be drawing 2 cards. So it's their third Bobble, drawing 3 cards. They know my top card already. 4th Bobble. Alright, there's 3rd Dragon's Rage. So this is infinite now at this point. They can play out the next Dragon's Rage and then just draw infinite cards, because every time they cast a Bobble, it will trigger 3 Dragon's Rages, so they can just keep going. And I guess the question is, how many times do they want to do that? Okay, they don't want that. It's their 4th Dragon's Rage. I don't know how many cards they're drawing. I lost track at this point. 6, 7, who knows? I mean, there's definitely the possibility too, if they keep going, that they could just mill themselves out. I wonder if they're keeping that in mind. All right, they're letting Breach go. They draw 6. They're going to go down to 9 cards in their library. I have to check, see how many heats they've used at this point. Fatal Push is not really what we want. 1, 2, so there's 1, 2, 3 heats are gone. They have 7 cards in hand, 9 cards in library. I think we're in a position here where we kind of have to get this guy in play and then just try to get as much value out of it as possible. Dump one of these Dragon's Rages. They have the heat here. We're gonna be hurting. Yeah, there's the heat. Dump 2 more cards. They're gonna go down to 7. Okay, and I think we minus this as well. They bobble me. So the thing is, like, we find an endurance, we can wipe their board. There's a Chord, okay. Wolf is back. It's a 2/2, and there's an Evo. Not great. Alright. Not too much to do from here. We're gonna take a hit for 4, go down to 8. Most of their bolts are gone, so they can't, like, bolt us to death, I don't think. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they have 1 bolt in the graveyard, but if they tried to just keep recasting it, I think they just... I guess they could breach again, and then, yeah, I think they'll be okay. Hit us down to 8, because they don't have to force themselves to draw any cards. They can just triple bolt us from here. Breach number 2. Sure. 3 cards in library. Bolt, we're down to 5. I guess, yeah, they can also just keep the cards on top. Okay, they got us. We'll scoop. Alright. Alright, so that does it for our league with multi-messenger Yawgmoth. Technically a 2-3 league, but I think in a paper setting or a setting where I'm not talking to you guys through every line, that's probably a 3-2 league. So, you know, we would have been the positive, I think, had all gone according to plan, and, you know, based on our play, we would have won 3 matches. I think hopefully it's very evident over the course of that league. Like, Messenger was always like the first card we wanted to board out in almost every one of those matches. And I guess the reason for doing this is just proving the point in that just Messenger isn't that good right now, and it's not as good as it used to be. I don't know if it came across that way over the course of the league, but that's the way that I've felt for quite a while, and the way I felt over the course of that league. Yeah, I mean, we definitely had a couple of instances where Messenger got us the kill. You know, that last game against Mill, that was an instance where it was a Messenger kill. I'm not sure if we still had Blood Artist in the deck or not, and if that would have done it, but that was a game where Messenger got us the kill, and I think there was like 1 or 2 more over the course of this league. But, you know, to be honest, I haven't missed the card. I haven't been playing it for probably a month now, and I mean, no hard feelings, Messenger, but you know, you've been gone. I haven't really noticed. And there have been moments in the past where I've cut it as well, and I have noticed, but recently, honestly, I haven't missed it. So that's just my 2 cents. That's how I feel about the card and how I felt about the changes in the deck over the recent past. So my personal belief, a Patron in the main deck, Geralf's hit the road, and then yeah, my version 9.4 and 9.2 I think are the two lists that I would be running right now if I was going to a competitive event, maybe with some small tweaks. So that's going to be it for the day. As always, I appreciate you tuning in and joining us, and we will be back on Friday with another modern video, probably a more competitive build on Friday, just because I need to get some reps in with a competitive build, so that's what we're going to be doing. I will see you all then, and until then, you know the deal. Be well, everybody.